Hi, everyone. You're welcome to Let's Discuss, where we talk about practical matters that impact on our Christian journey and life, where we share things that impact on not just the way we do things, but how we want to do things and how it translates into our everyday living, how it translates into being more heavily cautious and prepared, and more importantly, how to fulfill our purpose on earth here. You're all welcome. For those of you joining for the first time, feel free to like, share, and contribute. The purpose of Let's Discuss, like I always say, week in, week out, is not to be a data source or a place where you just get information, but for it to be that platform or arena where there can be transformation. You're all welcome in Jesus' name. For those who are joining us, our regular listeners, God bless you. God continue to strengthen you. Want to express my gratitude. Your support means a lot, and it's helping us provide content every week. Thank you so much. Like I say, if there are particular topics or areas you want us to dwell a bit more on, let us know so that we can include it in the, how will I call it, in the talking plan. Today we'll be talking about what I believe is a very important topic, and I would like contributions as well on this topic. It is very important. Maybe some people they felt, okay, be a good sugar. Maybe he's talking about relationships and marriage and um, partners, people who are intending to marry, or different type, maybe romantic type relationship. But be a sugar relates to everyone. In the world we are in today, there is that desire from everybody to do something good to others. In fact, based on some statistics and surveys that's been run, 98% of people view their life purpose as making a positive impact on the world, and that can be different from their family, their children, the world generally, and people who come across them. And for some people, it's about legacy. So let's take that in. About 98% of people want to do what is good, want to be a good sugar, want to make sure there's sweetness for many more people. But we're seeing the world being highly toxic. I think we've entered into an era where people don't even bother to check information anymore. They don't check what is true or what is wrong. They just follow what people say, either on social media or what people tell them. Very few people go back to check the facts anyway. Or is that correct? Um, I would start with a story which we all know and buttress on today's topic. But let me buttress on the topic before I start with that story. Many times we want to be a good sugar, and that desire goes from one extreme to the other. There is on the right side the need to be good to people so that people will be good to you. And on the extreme left, that is, people want to be good to people even when they are not good to you. Today's topic is about how we can be in the middle, understand how we should be good for everyone, understand how we should be good for ourselves. We started last week by talking about, 2 weeks ago, we spoke about love thyself, and we moved forward and talked about love is conditional. I've been picked up on that. A few people have pointed out some instances of where there is unconditional love, and I agree. I'm just a bit skeptic that I hardly find it. And in some cases, you find it, but it doesn't really last, or it continues as long as there isn't any friction. So let's talk about be a good sugar. There are three things we've stated by saying people 98% of people want to do the right thing, want to help people. Then why is it that it's not really happening? Why is it that with the world, everyone's saying is becoming a more difficult place, is becoming a worse place to live in? And I would really want to touch on three main points for us today so that we can understand how we can be a good sugar, how we can live a moderate life, and how we can ensure that we're spicing things up. Valentine's Day shouldn't be the only day of the year we show love. We need to be showing love all the time. Being a good sugar is about making things sweet for people who are around you. But one of the disadvantages, as we would have observed very quickly with sugar, is that at times, if you're not careful, the sugar itself totally gets consumed. Um, in a bid to satisfy everyone, if the sugar is put into a bowl and water is added, it might be totally consumed. And when it's consumed, everyone forgets about it very quickly. They now remember about the need to have another sugar. Who remembers the sugar you had 2, 3 days ago or last week? You are now thinking about, okay, what's next? That sugar has done its job. And we need to sort of understand that whilst we have to be pleasant and do the best we can, there is no way we can be a sugar to everyone every single day for as long as we live. But we can do our best to be different. And why do we need to do that? Let's start from the story. Um, Today's social media, or the world we are in, means that when you do something, or in some cases, you don't even need to do something. Some people can infer it. Some people can use deep fake video technology, make it seem like it's you. Some people can cook up stories. Some people can pay people off to lie about you. The era we've entered today means that many people wouldn't check. In fact, most people wouldn't check. They would just accuse you of the same crime, even those who should know better. There's a contribution here. Ngozi, you're welcome. She said, and social media fact checkers are often not reliable too. They often check on most popular opinions, but not on true or untrue of a fact. You're correct. We've entered into a world where a realm whereby there isn't what we call absolute truth or false anymore. A professor was doing a study and said he was trying to make things very graphic for the students. He said there was someone who did all these bad things. What do you think about the person? And his students answered him, well, it depends. It depends on his childhood. It depends on how he grew up. It depends on everything around him that could have led him to that action. And the professor wanted to make it more graphic and said, yes, but he took a little baby, slaughtered a little baby, and did all sorts of gory things. And the people turned around and said, yeah, it depends on maybe he has seen someone do or things like that. We've moved into a world of absolute. The professor in this story, which was true life, was absolutely disgusted. He said, but surely there should be a line of saying, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. But now there's the court of social media. But is that true? One of the things I found fascinating when I was preparing for this was that there was a story that happened many, many years ago, which is similar. In those days, they didn't have social media, but they had word of mouth, they had information, and that was when Jesus was about to be killed. During the time of Jesus, one of the things that happened was that, and that was the first thing I would say, which is to be a sugar, you need to forgive them. This scripture where Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing, emphasizes that majority of the people or the mob didn't understand what was going on. They were either taking a cue from the religious leaders of the day, they were taking direction from what people have told them, they were projecting their beliefs onto what has happened. They, most of them didn't have a solid reason to have done what they did. But because the way they've received some information made them to tilt towards a particular direction without bothering to check. Some people might argue with me and say, yes, what of people like Nicodemus? He went to meet Jesus late at night, he confirmed, but he still stood with the majority. And that's what happens in our world today. The world we live in today, some people have good intentions, but because they've been misguided about different things, and we'll talk about that towards the end, why you should just do your best and you may be unable to totally eradicate the human sort of factor. So the first thing we need to do to be a big sugar is that we need to forgive people when people will do things to us bad. And Jesus said, forgive them, because like today's world of social media where people don't check, historically people listen to information and act on it based on who has told them what or who told them the information first. To be a good sugar, we need to learn to forgive people, even though we can realize they don't know what they are doing. The birth of many dictatorship or many evil that's happened in the world was actually supported by many good people who thought they were doing the right thing. At times, they would see a particular dictator or some people doing something really bad or harsh and extreme to some people. Rather than complain or oppose it, they feel that, well, the narrative on ground shows that those people deserve what's coming to them and they keep quiet until the powers of evil now become like more powerful and even consume those quiet people themselves. So to be a good sugar, we need to learn to forgive because people don't. Um, the human nature is flawed. We are flawed. I'm flawed. You are flawed. Everyone has something that is making us flawed, that's making us not think right on some particular situations. And that could be based on either our nature, how our personality type, the way we've been shaped, or based on our nurture, the way we've been born, the examples we've seen growing up, what we've been told is right and wrong, or it could be based on our nourishment. What are we consuming every day? What are the things that we are taking in? If we're taking in things of violence, almost like social YouTube and all this Google, if you watch a film showing maybe a Spanish dancer in on YouTube, for days to come, you'll continually be shown videos of similar videos. That's how it works in life as well, whereby if you are nourishing yourself with something, it becomes part of you and it becomes the way you behave. If you nourish yourself with truth, you'll have truth. If you nourish yourself with hearsay, you become one of the, how I call it, the apostles of hearsay. And those are the main reasons why we need to be the good sugar. There will be situations where we don't like what's going on, we don't like what people are doing, but we have to, and that's why Jesus as well said, we need to be the salt of the earth, that is, which is my second point. It's our contribution to a better world. We all complain that the world is bad, it's getting worse, and we can see things going from bad to worse, values being eroded, morals being eroded. But someone has to make a difference. Someone has to say, look, I'm going to try to do my best, even if it's making a few people happy. That's my own contribution to a better world. That contribution is better than no contribution. So we've talked about the first point, which is forgive them. Even Jesus said, forgive them for they don't know what they are doing. And we talked about the human nature being fundamentally flawed, even though 98% of people want to do what is good. But because of the inherent flaws, we do things that we're not supposed to do, or we do things the wrong way, do the wrong things. And the second point is that we need to be the salt, contribute to a better world. Um, yeah, there's another contribution here. Uh, So Yosin said, people often easily accept a thing as true as popular, okay, as a popular expert says so. But if an expert says so, it can still be untrue or stupid to follow. Yes, there's been many cases. This is really true. There's been many cases where experts have said some things, or popular people who have no understanding of it. Let me use maybe medical things. Some people have told people to ingest some, poisonous substances that it would help with COVID. A lot of people died. There's been a lot of people who have given fake advices that they themselves wouldn't follow. I know a few, there was a big scandal some years ago about some a company paid a lot of celebrities to give good reviews about their product, and those celebrities all gave good reviews because they are paid to do that. At the end of the day, the company ended up, embezzling the funds of a lot of people. The celebrities, some of them came out and apologized, but what's the apology? How can it help when a lot of people have lost all they need, all their funds? This is a very true point. We need to be a good sugar. We need to make sure that we are dispersing good and accurate information to people. Yeah. But before I continue, I just wanted to pause and give some exciting news shared with the team. Um, so the team have been working behind the scenes to do a lot of things, and today I'm happy to announce that by the end of this month, all things being equal, Unbox Press will be showcasing its first song. There are quite a number of songs coming, but this will be the first one. And for us, it's a landmark moment. And we will join us in prayers and join us in expecting and join us in sharing this music. So I'll talk a bit about the song before I, talk about the third point. The title of the song is Salvation Anthem. And unlike many songs that people sing a song and then go and do the video and do a coverage or go to the market and shoot themselves trying to either preach or something. There was an actual outreach that was done off the back of this song, which for me is the first time I'm seeing the song and a real outreach. So the song was based on some real things which happened, which I wouldn't talk more about. Keep watching our social media to get more stories and insights into that song. But there was a true life outreach that was done, and you can see people, both young and old, going out to the streets, to the markets. Some traveled long distances, and you can see some of the slogans there that has been shared. You can see the wonderful people who stood up from different walks of life, different denominations. They decided that we would work together and do something and not be restricted to our denominational bias or just normal way of living and life. And this the songwriter and the lead person, Yayonda. So you'll be hearing more on them, and I'll play the teaser of the video towards the end of this topic so that mark your calendars. February 27th, the song will be dropping on all digital um, stores. Make sure you go to support us and support the vision. There will be more about the song in coming days, and God will continue to bless you. It's a moment of excitement for us. It's it's about people deciding to be a good sugar. Yeah, and we'll talk more about the song later. Wanted to also appreciate the members of Unbox Praise team. They're making the dream work. You need a team to make everything work, and individually and as a group, they've been wonderful. And we have some of them on the platform here today, and we have some doing a lot of work. So things like the poster, things like the song we can see, poster for Let's Discuss, IAJ. We have people doing music in the background, Faith. We have IAJ as well, composing songs. We have Yosin, we have Alice, we have Damilare who's helping with all the sound. And we have people planning outreach. We have lots of evangelism things to do. Evangelist Patricia, so many people. If I start counting, I'll be here all night, and I have just 3 minutes. So God will help us. So let us finalize this topic, and the last point for me is to be a good sheep. At times we try and overthink or overcomplicate how to bring joy to people. Um, the third point for me, is be pleasant and you be a good sugar. Most times we what is more common is things like conflicts, difference of views, difference of opinions. A did this, B did this, C did this. And generally, it's just good to be, once you're pleasant, you just discover that people want to be around you. A lot of issues will become settled, a lot of things will become resolved because you are not allowing it to build up. To be a good sugar means you are making sure that you are bringing sweetness around you. You are making sure that, in as much as it's within your power, you are creating an environment where everyone feels loved, where there's mutual respect, where there's mutual support, empathy. You may have to do more of that. You may have to do more of the forgiveness because, like I said earlier, people are flawed. People have different ways of looking at different matters. People have different sense of entitlement. People have different ways of processing information and data. But as Christians, our responsibility is to be pleasant. It's our responsibility to always make sure we're not the one who is in an argument, who is saying hurtful things, who is pulling people down, who is, in a situation whereby people are not happy around us. Um, Most times you will discover that more than any Valentine's gifts, more than any physical gifts or financial gifts, when you are able to be pleasant and have good rapport with people, you discover that people see you as a breath of fresh air. They see you as someone who is adding goodness to their life. They see you as someone who is different from the rest. They see you as someone who is better than the rest because you are taking that conscious effort to project Christ in a way that a lot of people no longer do. A lot of Christians have gone into the crucify him, he's to blame mode. A lot of people, based on what they believe is right or wrong, don't see the person they are killing or the bloodshed or the blood that is in their hands. Most Christians no longer have that love for the Good Samaritan because they want to indulge in what they feel is right rather than what the Bible is saying. To be a good sugar, we need to teach that. We need to become more pleasant, and God will help us in Jesus' name. So thank you, everyone. I'll leave us um, with a teaser of the song, and keep watching our social media channels. You'll get more information about the song. So until next week, where we talk about another topic, have a wonderful week and be a good sugar. Make sure people feel your presence, they feel your pleasantness, and they see someone different from the rest, and they see something that they want to model, and more importantly, that they see Christ in you. Have a great week. Love you, everyone. Bye.
Run, come, come, run, come, come. Jesus loves you. Run, come, come, run, come, come. Jesus is looking out for you. Run, come, come. Jesus is calling you to salvation and redemption. Run, come, run, come.